I want to start out with a story. In December of 2022, a life saving kidney had been placed with the recipient 400 miles away in North Dakota. Unfortunately, a blizzard and canceled flights almost made the transportation of this organ an impossible task. It took the innovative thinking and multiple people to figure out how to transport the gift. This happens on a regular basis throughout the country, and the lack of dedicated assets to move organs for transplant around the country is severe, as well as the absence of a centralized system to dispatch and monitor. There's also a number of wasted resources. Each OPO and transplant center sets up their own transportation with whoever might be available. Hello, my name is Reed Freeman. I spent the last 16 years in the organ donation and transplant field, and much of that in operations leadership. This has allowed me to oversee many of the logistics needs for my company and has provided me insight to the challenges and the current need. Today, I want to present a solution that will help solve many of these current issues. There are currently over 100,000 people on the national transplant waiting list. The current average wait times for a donor organ can range from 4 months to 5 or even more years, depending on several factors. The U.S. currently has 56 organ procurement organizations, or OPOs, and around 250 transplant centers. Let me quickly explain the current process to help understand the issue and the need at hand. OPOs are responsible for identifying a potential donor, obtaining authorization for the donation process, and conducting a medical evaluation to assess suitability. All of the information is then entered into the United Network for Organ Sharing, or UNOS database. The OPO then electronically generates a list of recipients that match the donor based on factors such as blood type and size. Offers to the transplant center for the designated recipient are sent electronically. The transplant center then reviews the information and determines if the offered organ is a match for the recipient. They either accept or decline the organ, and once accepted, the OPO coordinates the logistics of the organ recovery. This includes scheduling an OR time and arranging for transportation of the surgical recovery teams. Once the organs are recovered, they are then transported back to the recipient hospital via ground transportation, charter, or commercial flights for the transplant to occur. The logistical challenges that affect the donation and transplant field are numerous. According to the Bureau of Transportation Statistics, in 2023, we actually did see a decrease in canceled commercial flights, but it still added up to almost 2,500 flights. And of the flights that were not canceled, the average on time rate was only 78%. When blood samples and life saving organs are traveling via commercial airlines, every minute delay is vital and has led to unfavorable outcomes for the transplant recipients. According to KFF, nearly 170 organs could not be transplanted, and 370 endured near misses between 2014 and 2019. This was a problem that was identified 4 years ago, and we still have not solved it. There's still currently no requirements to track an organ that is unaccompanied in transit. Some OPOs and transplant centers have worked to utilize various options, such as GPS trackers and onboard couriers, to help with this, but the lack of a policy and a standardized national system still does not exist. The recent changes in the organ allocation system have also contributed to this, as now organs routinely travel greater distances. It is left up to the OPO and transplant centers to identify logistics partners, usually third-party charter aircraft or courier services, that may or may not understand the need, and to set up and then monitor themselves. I present to you LifeStream Logistics, a centralized logistics system that will provide standardized dispatch and oversight services for the national organ donation and transplant field. The solution will be a system built into the current UNOS organ allocation system. It will utilize artificial intelligence and machine learning, as well as blockchain technology, to evaluate and determine the most efficient route, along with tracking and notifications to the stakeholders. LifeStream Logistics will utilize the vast network of charter and commercial aircraft, as well as car service and courier providers, to build a robust network of available assets. When looking at the best leadership model for this solution, the McKinsey 7S model of change management is the perfect model for this solution, as it involves breaking a change program into 7 different components. The model looks at the change strategy, the company structure, systems and processes, company values and culture, manner of work, staff involvement, and skills. This meets all the needs to create a culture of innovation, which will be important in the ability to pivot as needed and the ultimate success. Creating a culture of innovation also requires the use of dissipative leadership, as change and disruption are bound to happen with innovation. According to Porter, O'Grady, and Malik, the dissipative model of leadership rightly treats change as normal. It also favors transferring leadership responsibilities to the group process. Utilizing the style of leadership in place of a traditional non disruptive style will allow the process to stay within the innovative and growth mindset. Regarding manner of work, Ventura describes the use of the net forward energy concept, which will assist in developing opportunities, building capacity, and envisioning new methods. The utilization of these transformational leadership concepts will provide the team with the vision and tools to develop an innovative product that will ideally solve the current problems. Culture development within the leadership structure will be vital to encourage the use of new technologies that will foster continuous improvement. The entire system of transplant logistics must be interconnected to work, and there must be constant communication and visualization to ensure ultimate efficiency. And with any national system, issues will arise. The resilience to work through identified issues and develop new solutions will be a key factor in the growth of this system. The initial finances will consist of retaining IT integration specialists and possibly AI engineers to build out the algorithm within the system. The budget will include the salaries of the IT personnel as well as any potential lobbying costs to ensure we get in front of the proper decision makers at HRSA. We will apply for grants from HRSA and other entities such as America's Seed Fund or Boehringer Ingelheim US, which focus on innovative ideas within the healthcare space. Once a solution has been implemented, we plan to work with OPTN to increase the member fee. Currently, the OPTN member fee for each listed patient is $868. Increasing it by a nominal amount of $50 could lead to an extra $3 million annually based on the average amount of 60,000 listed patients per year. This will cover the cost of the continued oversight and the maintenance of the solution. With current organ transplant costs being upwards of $1.5 million for certain organs, any innovation that can reduce an OPO and transplant centers' cost will be seen as necessary. With the change in allocation leading to broader distribution, flight costs have increased by thousands. These costs are either absorbed by the OPO or paid by the transplant center, which then forces them to increase their fees to recipients. Our goal is to work with providers to set standard rates so that cost of flights and any type of transportation will be greatly reduced. Looking at our integrated technology, the use of blockchain technology can solve the issue of tracking organs throughout their destination by utilizing the current technology that is already available but not being maximized. Organs are currently shipped by transport companies that utilize commercial and charter aircraft and courier services. These services utilize their own internal technology to document the path, but the visualization to the consumer is routinely lacking. Blockchain technology can be implemented to track organs more precisely along the route by recording and reporting each point of data entry and physical contact, along with important data such as temperature, pump numbers, etc. By providing this information in real time, it ensures continuous oversight of the gift and allows the transplant centers to plan appropriately for the transplant. Compatibility testing and API verification, along with cross-platform support, will need to be confirmed in the initial stages. The integration of this solution within the current organ allocation system, fortunately, already has a precedent set with a current labeling system called Transnet. The system is utilized by all OPOs and transplant centers to consistently label organs once they are packaged for transport. The use of AI and machine learning will evaluate and organize historical data along with available assets to determine the need and the most efficient transport for teams and organs. When looking at the healthcare policy, the signing of the Advancing American Kidney Health Executive Order in 2019 spurred the organ donation and transplant field to reevaluate what was possible. This also led to CMS and HRSA setting performance metrics that each OPO must meet. It caused OPOs and transplant centers to rethink what was possible and drive to improve each year. With this, OPTN and UNOS updated their policies on organ allocation to allow for broader distribution of organs and increased transportation needs. This has ultimately led to HRSA's implementation of the Organ Procurement and Transplantation Network, or OPTN, Modernization Initiative. The goal of this is to improve transparency, performance, government, and efficiency of the organ donation and transplantation system, as well as ensuring a fair and transparent and effective organ procurement and transplantation system. This has provided an opportunity for private sector companies to bid for the adoption of their solutions in the current system. If chosen, there will need to be either a new policy or modification to current OPTN policy to require OPOs and transplant centers to utilize the LifeStream logistics solution. This will be similar to the policy that was implemented in 2017 for the previously mentioned Transnet packaging and labeling system. The policy standardized an organ coding system for tracking of organs. Requirements for OPO transplant use was effected in June of 2017 and required all OPOs to utilize the system for the packaging and labeling of recovered organs. From the implementation standpoint, our first step will be to develop the systems integration and with national providers that have adequate assets, as well as existing systems such as FlightAware. Providers such as Millionaire, who is already dedicated to the mission of organ donation and transplant and has over 30 flight bases of operations throughout the U.S. Boston Coach is a car service that already has technology in 200 national locations. We will also partner with major airlines and cargo carriers to develop protocols for seamless shipments of organs and tissues, as many of these operations are not 24/7, but transplants are. The next step will be to present our solution to OPT and UNOS to show how it can provide the needed oversight and dispatch, as well as improved efficiency and decreased cost of organ transport, with the ultimate goal being adoption and mandatory nationwide implementation. The impact can be great. We predict the impact to be substantial with needed standardization and oversight. We expect to see increased efficiency of all transports, decreased costs due to standardized agreed upon rates from providers, and improved patient outcomes from decreased ischemic time. Thank you for your time. I'd be happy to answer any questions.